Okay, I'm a fan of that. Now let's talk about some stuff. Today we are talking morning routines for anxiety, OCD, and general worry. If you've watched some of my other videos, you'll know that my approach to dealing with anxiety is very much based on accepting the feelings that we get while we use mindfulness tools to come into the present and then make a choice based on our values. With that being said, one thing that I've noticed about my own mental health is that it gets aggravated the more I live in a reactive way. In my case, living in a reactive way generally involves engaging in what I would call little mini compulsions. So things like impulsively scrolling through social media, checking my phone over and over again, daydreaming, procrastinating, and allowing myself to go down the black hole of worry. I found that engaging in these types of behaviors, even though they might seem minor, really put all of us on track to poor mental health, which is where having a solid morning routine comes in. Because when we get our morning right, it makes it much easier to live proactively during the rest of the day instead of reactively, and engaging in all of those little compulsions that are eventually going to lead to bigger compulsions and then a big mess when our mental health is in big trouble. Now, it's important to recognize that even when we do have a solid morning routine and we stick to it, it doesn't end there. The morning routine is not enough. You have to carry that with you throughout the rest of the day, each day, and do so consistently. If you get your morning right, but then you quickly slip back into those compulsions, you're gonna be in trouble. So anyway, here's what I do to kick my day off with some value-based actions and get myself on the right track. First, I wake up to this alarm clock instead of my phone. Now, on a side note, this alarm clock is so rad. It runs on rechargeable batteries, and it has a little solar panel up top, so that's how it gets its energy. And I actually don't even know what brand it is. There isn't one on here, but on the bottom there is an email, and it says Shelly@eic.com. So I guess if you contact Shelly, you can find out about where to get one of these if you want one. This is not a sponsorship or promotion on my part, but this alarm clock is sick. So anyway, this minor detail of using an alarm clock instead of my phone is huge in my life. I've noticed that when I allow myself to wake up to my phone and it's sitting right next to my bed, it's really easy to get impulsive right off the bat. It's so easy to slip into social media, check Instagram, and next thing you know, I'm scrolling for 15 minutes before I get up, and I'm already off to a reactive start to my day. So you don't have to use one of these, obviously. And if you decide to use your phone and you're really good at just waking up and putting it away and not getting sucked into it, good for you, you're stronger than I am. But if that is an issue for you, I think the key point here is just to know yourself and do what you can to make those healthy decisions easier on yourself. For me, that means waking up with an alarm clock. Now on to the rest of my morning. Right after my alarm clock goes off, I grab a swig of water and I get moving, which usually consists of doing something like a few push-ups or maybe some jumping jacks, maybe even a mini dance party just to get my blood moving. What this does is it wakes me up so that I don't fall asleep during the next couple of things that I do, which brings me to the next portion of my morning. After I get moving a little bit, I grab a book and read for anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. And it's a good way to get the cognitive juices flowing. This is what I look like when I read. Way fun, right? After I'm done reading, I fit some meditation in, which usually lasts for about 15 to 20 minutes. When I meditate, it's usually just general mindfulness meditation, where I sit and observe the present moment. What this looks like is I usually grab a seat, sometimes I actually lay on the floor. Doesn't really matter what your position is. Find something that's comfortable, try not to have super bad posture, and you just want to start getting in tune with what's going on in your body and around you. So for me, I start out with a body scan, go from my head all the way down to my toes, and then back up again, just slowly scanning through, seeing what everything feels like. And then after that, I bring my attention onto my breath, and I just focus on that for the remaining session. Now my mind does get sidetracked, A lot of people think that when you meditate, you're supposed to get rid of all the thoughts that are popping into your head, but that's not the case. All that I'm doing is I'm focusing on my breath, I'm letting thoughts and feelings come into my body, and then I'm actually bringing my focus out of those thoughts after I recognize them and embrace them, and bringing that focus back into my breath. Now, there are a lot of different ways to meditate, so you don't have to meditate like I do, but this is what works for me, and it helps me really get that practice in of not letting myself be carried away by impulses, and it really gets me grounded for the day. And that's really it for my morning routine. It really just consists of me waking up to that alarm, not getting sucked into my phone, and then moving on to getting a little bit of light exercise to get my body warmed up, make it so that I won't fall asleep while I go read a little bit, and then meditate afterwards. And after I do all these things, I usually either end up eating, going to work, or going to work out. Just depends on what my day looks like. Usually it's pretty different after that, depending on what day it is. But seriously, I've found that this 45 minutes of intentional activity is what sets up the rest of my day for success. And it gets my brain primed to focus on the things that I value. It helps me do the things that I know are going to give me the life that I want in the long run, rather than wandering off worrying about the past or the future or impulsively scrolling through something. So how do you start your mornings off? How do you get a good start to your day? I want to hear about it in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe below, and we will catch you next time.